For millions of families in India today, cooking a basic, nutritious dinner is a mathematical impossibility. The daily household budget simply no longer works. This bar chart visualizes the cost of a healthy diet, the minimum daily expense required to meet nutritional guidelines. Adding surging fuel costs to the equation has driven this daily threshold up by over 9.5 rupees per person. Because of that sudden spike, the percentage of the Indian population unable to afford basic nutrition jumps to 62%. Facing significant military disadvantages, Iran retaliated by weaponizing its most valuable geographic asset. They closed off the Strait of Hormuz. By blocking this narrow waterway, they established a devastating maritime blockade. Closing the Strait of Hormuz halted 15 million barrels of oil daily, trapping 20% of global oil and 25% of LNG trade. This blockade violates the UN's guaranteed transit passage, turning a legally protected shipping lane into a war zone. The logistical fallout was instant. 500 tankers and gas carrier ships are stuck on either side, creating a massive maritime traffic jam. For moving ships, marine insurance premiums skyrocketed 600%. A localized 39-day conflict rapidly engineered the most severe global energy supply crisis since the 1970s. That shockwave radiated outward, quickly hitting India's macroeconomic data and threatening its status as the world's fastest-growing major economy. This line graph depicts India's real GDP growth expectations. Before the conflict, the projections sat at a robust 7.6% for the fiscal year. Now, factoring in the energy disruption, the World Bank has slashed that projection down to 6.6%. The physical impact on the country's infrastructure is severe. Without that missing liquid natural gas, 8 gigawatts of gas-based power generation vanished from India's energy grid, right when it's needed most. To keep the lights on, the government resorted to a desperate countermeasure. They postponed scheduled maintenance shutdowns for 10 gigawatts of older coal-based power plants. This lack of gas loops back to the household level. Disrupted supply chains mean less fertilizer, while government safety nets providing subsidized cooking cylinders to low-income families strain under extreme cost pressure. To survive this sudden energy squeeze, India must burn dirtier fuel, accept slower economic growth, and watch nutritional security slip away. Right now, diplomats are negotiating a fragile ceasefire in Islamabad, but the structural damage to global markets is already locked in. Energy experts confirm a harsh reality. Alternative producers like the United States and Venezuela cannot scale up production fast enough to plug a 15 million barrel daily deficit. The Persian Gulf remains irreplaceable. This absolute dependency on imported energy forces India to secure its supply lines through pragmatic diplomatic compromises. New Delhi recently yielded a mediatory role to Pakistan. At the same time, it sent envoys to rebuild ties with Turkey and Azerbaijan, two nations it had intentionally isolated after the military clashes of Operation Sindoor just a year prior. This external diplomatic maneuvering contrasts with India's internal military posturing. The Indian Navy recently commissioned the INS Aridaman, a nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarine, specifically designed to project maritime dominance across the Indian Ocean. But a powerful naval fleet and a nuclear triad cannot run a power plant, they cannot manufacture fertilizer, and cannot fill a cooking cylinder. Despite its rising military capabilities, a lack of resource self-sufficiency leaves the country's economy exposed. Nuclear submarines provide a military shield, but they offer no protection against global market shocks. Until a nation achieves total energy independence, a war on the other side of the world will always have the power to empty its citizens' wallets.